Welcome to the Buck Stops Here, the official podcast of NotInHallOfFame.com, and I'm your host, The Buck, Kirk Buchner, owner, operator of NotInHallOfFame.com and its sister sites, the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame and the Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And you know, it's not every day you get to talk to someone who's at the top of their field, and that's what I got to do today. Chelsea Carey, an old friend of mine and someone I used to work with in what feels like a lifetime ago, is now the champion in curling. So her women's team represented Canada in the last World's Championships because she won the Canadian Championship, something that she's actually won before. So I had a chance to sit down with Chelsea and just talk about some of the more interesting moments in her career, one of which involves Ron Burgundy. And if you think I'm making that up, I'm not. Ron Burgundy, yes, the character. Also her travels across the globe and some interesting fans that she's had along the way. So sit back, here's Chelsea. Chelsea, long time.
No kidding.
I can't remember. I think the last time I saw you, was that in Winnipeg with Pauline?
Yeah, I think it probably was.
Yeah, it was a game where we went to some bar watching Detroit win the Stanley Cup, I think. Or was it Pittsburgh?
I think it was Pittsburgh, but either way, it was a while ago.
Yeah, well, either way, we know it wasn't a Canadian team.
No,
because I definitely did not know you in 1993.
No, for sure not.
Yeah, so Chelsea and I used to work together a long, long time ago for a company that I guess technically doesn't even exist anymore, in theory.
Yeah,
they were bought out.
Yeah, in theory it doesn't.
Yeah. So you were the one thing that I've been dying to ask you, and I never sent you this on Twitter, which just fascinates the hell out of me. Ron Burgundy called one of your matches.
He did, yeah.
Did you know that was going to happen?
Yeah, we did. It was there was a whole build up that he was going to be there, and we got to meet him briefly backstage, and then we knew it would be the feature game that game because that was the Olympic trials in Winnipeg, and it was the two Winnipeg women's teams. So we played Jennifer Jones, and we were the feature game. So he was in the booth with the TSN guys. It was pretty cool.
Well, I didn't even realize that was in the trials.
Yeah, it was 2013 Olympic trials.
Did he stay in character when you met him?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Did you at least get a picture out of that?
No, unfortunately not. It was sort of just like we were waiting to be piped out, and he went through an opening rock. So he would just sort of walk past us and said hi on the way by, but we didn't get to chat with him or anything really.
Yeah, so just putting that in perspective for those listening, we are talking about the Ron Burgundy, Will Ferrell in character, doing, I guess, one of the most random promotions for Anchorman 2.
Yes, exactly.
Because he came up to Canada. So that was in Winnipeg. Okay, so that was when you were still competing for Team Manitoba, or trying to win Manitoba.
Yeah, we were playing at a Manitoba-based team at that time.
Mm-hmm. So you went from Manitoba to Alberta. Now I'm not the biggest curling expert in the world. Although on the island that I'm currently living in, I very well might be.
Yeah, you probably are there.
Yeah. Lovely Barbados. I love this place. Wouldn't it be harder to sort of come out of Alberta? Why the move? Because I see that you switched teams, but was that just something that you just wanted a fresh start? Because I see that they had someone else come in for you, but it looks like you had a better career than that person. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, it was just the end of at the end of a 4-year Olympic cycle, teams tend to shuffle and things change up, and my teammates, I knew that I'm still really good friends with all my Manitoba teammates. I see them every time I go home and stuff, but we were at kind of different points in our lives. Two of them were, having babies and that kind of thing, and they didn't want to play quite as much and travel as much and that kind of stuff, and the commitment just becomes a little bit tough. So, and I knew I wanted to, so Alberta and Manitoba are the two hardest provinces to get out of. But it was just based on where my best team was, or so I thought. That team didn't work out. The first one that I had here in Edmonton in 2014, and played one season with a team, and then that didn't work out, and then joined forces with a different team in Calgary. So then I moved down to Calgary, and I've been down here ever since.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're in Calgary now. I knew you were in Alberta. I wasn't sure whereabouts though.
Yeah, I'm in Calgary now. I've been about 4 years here now.
Okay. So you're as a skip of a team, you're essentially like the quarterback on everything. What do you look for when you're trying to put a team together?
A lot of it's about similar commitment levels, because it's such a massive time commitment to play the way we play and travel and practice and be in the gym and all that kind of stuff. So there's just not a huge pool of people that are prepared to do what we have to do to be successful. So you kind of starting from a fairly small pool of people typically, and then, I mean, skill level is one thing, but at the end of the day, you're probably only looking at people with similar skill sets. So it's about common goals and hopefully you get along as well, because you spend a lot of time together. So it's always nice to have it not be unpleasant when you're on the road together for as much time as we all are.
Because essentially that's like your family.
Oh, yeah. Like, we joke all the time that we see each other more than they all see their husbands.
But, just sort of segueing just even the word family, you're essentially from curling royalty. You're the daughter of a former champion.
I am the daughter of a Canadian champion, and my uncle actually is a Canadian champion as well.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, 1979.
Damn. Okay, so like you were born for this. Like did you know at an early age that I'm really going to get into this sport?
Yeah, I played every sport when I was a kid. That was kind of my parents' mantra. It was put us in everything and then let us pick from there what we liked or didn't like or whatever. So I was curling, but I was also dancing competitively and things like that. And so but then when I was about 7 when my dad won, and watching him win and seeing that whole thing was what really kind of got me interested in it.
Yeah, because I can't even imagine what that must be like, seeing your dad on TV on a regular basis, and then now he's got to be even more proud seeing you on TV. Has to be. I mean, like, yeah, it seemed like every time when I was out west, there you were on TSN.
Yeah. Yeah, and we get more TV exposure time than they did when he was playing, by a lot, which is, I mean, that's good for the game. But yeah, no, it was a pretty cool turnaround to, like, when I won my first Canadian championship and then to get to hug him after. That was one of my favorite moments of my life, certainly of my curling life, just because it was like he understands what I went through and all that stuff, and he's been involved in coaching, and because he's done it himself, he knows what that feeling is. So that was a pretty cool moment for sure.
So you were the Canadian champion. You're a Canadian champion now again, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So the first time you won that, you were, if I understand right, you were like a breath away from going to the Olympics.
We were this last time. Yeah, we lost the Olympic trials final in 2017, and take back a shot or two, a half an inch here, we might have been going to the Olympics.
Well, it almost seems like curling's more of a game of inches. They always say football is, but it seems like curling is far more so.
They used to run a commercial. It was actually a pretty good commercial. Showed this person like missing a hit by a millimeter, and it said, the tagline was, they say football is a game of inches, and then this rock went by, and then the narration said, I wish we had inches, and that's exactly what it is.
There are many times that I used to say I wish I had inches too, but that was in a different context. Yeah, I haven't changed.
No.
The thing that I didn't realize at the time, because I actually caught some of that trial. I didn't realize that, because I was reading another article, that you were close on the mixed side too. Like I didn't even know that was real until it actually happened in the Olympics. Is that something was that a demonstration sport, or is that like a full sport now in the Olympics, or?
It's a full medal sport now, but it was just added to this last Olympics. Like, that's the first time they've had it as an event at the Olympics, but it was a full medal sport.
Okay. All right. So, and is that something that you could pursue again? Or do you still do
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, my teammates that I've been playing with for the last 2 years isn't going to play mixed doubles this year, so I've tried to figure out what I'm going to do, who I'm going to play with and stuff, but I do hope to continue to compete in that as well, yeah.
So how many tournaments do you play in a year?
Oh my God. Probably at least 15. Probably more like, with mixed doubles, probably more like 18, 19.
And like those, like the tournaments themselves, I mean, they're 10-day affairs, I guess, because you're doing it in a round robin?
Yeah, not all of them. So there's basically 2 streams. There's Curling Canada stuff, which is your Canadian Championship and the Olympic trials and that. Mm-hmm. Those ones are basically 10 days. There's 6 events we play in that are called Grand Slam of Curling events. Those ones are like a Monday to a Sunday, so they're still long, but they're not quite as crazy. And then we'll play in a few little ones that are just kind of Thursday to Sunday early in the season.
And how many of these tournaments are international?
Most of them. The Curling Canada ones are not. They're usually to qualify for an international event, like a World Championship or an Olympics or whatever. But everything else is international. Like all the Grand Slams and all the little steels we play in would have teams from all over the world.
Because representing Canada, so you were just, where was that, Denmark, I believe?
Denmark, yep.
Okay. What's Denmark like? It's one of those countries I've always wanted to go to, but I never knew why.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, we're there in the winter, so it's, you're not getting the full experience as far as the weather and stuff, but it's really, really pretty. It's green everywhere. There's water everywhere. The food was actually quite good, which, depending where you go, sometimes that's an issue. They like there's a lot of bread and a lot of sandwiches. They turn everything into a sandwich, but it's a gorgeous country.
So where else have you competed?
I've played in Switzerland and Beijing and Sapporo, Japan. We're actually going to Karizawa, Japan this year. We were invited to one in Korea, but we can't do it's just too much with a jet lag. I think that's it for Scotland. I forgot about Scotland. I've competed there too.
You have a favorite place to play in Canada? Like, is there some rink that's just better than others?
Well, most of the events we play are in arenas, so you don't really get the personality of it. But anything that we play in small town Saskatchewan is by far the best attended of anywhere. So those ones are always really fun. My first World Championship was in Swiss Current, and it was incredible. Like the people, it was just crazy. It was jammed. You couldn't get a hotel. You couldn't get into the games. Like the tickets were sold out for months before we had even won. I had friends who wanted to come from Winnipeg and family and stuff, and they couldn't come because there was no hotels and no tickets. It was impressive.
So Saskatchewan's got the most diehard curling fans? Like I honestly don't know. I just know it was bigger out west than when I was living in Ontario.
Yeah, Manitoba's good too. Like the prairies are pretty good in general, but yeah, there used to be a Grand Slam event in Yorkton. I played in that one in Swiss Current. We had the Canada Cup in Estevan last year. They just seem to be consistently very, very well attended.
And your world title, that was in Nova Scotia, the one that you just won. How was that?
It was gorgeous. I had never been to Cape Breton before. It was in Sydney. We've been to Nova Scotia a number of times, but never to Cape Breton Island, and it's spectacular. And the people out east are just so nice, right? So it's always a fun experience going out there because everybody's just so friendly and they just want to chat with you and stuff. It was a great experience.
So you've competed now in all 10 provinces?
I have, yeah. I haven't done the territories yet, but I've competed in every province. So I had New Brunswick was my last one, and I crossed that off the list 2 years ago. Do they have tournaments in Yukon and Nunavut or Northwest Territory? No, they don't right now, really. Like nothing big anyways. So that's why we haven't really had an opportunity to play up there, because we would like to go if we got a chance, but there just isn't really an event for us to go to up there. Okay, because there's always a representative from the Northern Territories. They have a play down up there, but they don't, but they have to come down to compete. Like they come to Alberta a lot because it's this Prim Yellowknife. It's the closest place they can come, so they play quite a few steels out here. Okay. It blows my mind. I'm still sort of stuck on the whole mixed curling. You were also mentioning like when you're training for that, is there something specifically that you've got to train harder than others? Like the aspect of curling, I'd imagine so much of that is just sort of like eye and just sort of like the subtle movements. But is there something that you've got to like work on harder? Like, is there a body part that is more important than people who don't play the sport could possibly understand? I just think that what people miss is the fitness required, especially for sweeping. So I think that's the biggest misconception, is that you don't have to be in shape to curl, and you don't really, but to be at a high level you do, and especially if you're a sweeper. Like those guys are in good shape, and so for doubles, you can play doubles a lot of different ways. You can sweep each other's, you only have two players. Mm-hmm. So one of you can throw and the other one can sweep, or one of you can hold the broom and one person can throw and sweep, or whatever it is. And so the way that we played it with my former doubles partner, he swept every rock because he's a front end player and he's a sweeper and I'm not. So he would, because it was because he was doing it that way. So he'd get up and sweep his own rocks, and then he'd also sweep mine. It was just so hard on his body. Like he was just, his whole body, his leg, the leg that he sweeps on, his left leg, would just be shaking, like visibly shaking by the end of a day, because it's so physically demanding when you play it like that.
Because it looks like that sport almost kills your quads.
Well, that's what I mean, because especially when you sweep your own rocks. Mm-hmm. So you go from, like, you got a slippery surface on that foot, and then you just stand straight up. So even that alone is a pretty athletic move. And then that front left leg stays in a flex position the entire way down the sheet, and you're in basically a borderline plank. So all your muscles are engaged in order to be able to hold that position to get the pressure on the broom head.
Why do they have it as mixed doubles and then not as mixed quads?
I think the mixed doubles is a way different game. The idea was to get like people who don't watch traditional curling to try to interest them. The game moves way faster. There's more rocks in play. There's crazy shots. It's a shorter game. Each end is shorter. The whole game is shorter. So it's just designed to be more exciting for fans that find traditional curling slow.
Where's the strangest fan base that you'd find? Because is there some countries that you're finding that people that have reached out to you that you're thinking like, wow, I didn't even know you knew curling?
I had Japanese fan art drawn of me. That was an interesting experience, and there's lots of them there that are crazy about it, and that's what they do. They make these really cool little like cartoon anime type drawings of all the curlers, and you can see the likenesses in them. They're really actually very well done. It's quite neat.
Is that on your Twitter?
Probably. I have it. Like I have the picture saved, but I did tweet it when it happened, but that was a while ago. I don't know how far back you'd have to go.
Wow. I know someone who's had Japanese fan art made of them. This, to me, is awesome in itself. I can't even...
I know.
That's actually, to me, almost cooler than Ron Burgundy.
There you go. See?
How can people follow you?
What's that?
How can people follow you? Like social medias, or how can fans reach out to you?
Oh, yeah. My Twitter is... at Chelsea Carey, and my Instagram is at Chelsea D Carey. I'm available on both.
All right, Chelsea, it's so good catching up. You know where you can visit next time you want to get away from the cold.
Oh yeah, trust me, I'll be taking you up on that.
I happen to know a few people here and there.
Yeah,
right,
some good connections. I like it.
All right, thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks.